Hello, this is MRR Collects with part two, unboxing an actual box of cash. And we've done A and B, so we're going to start with C notes. Um, we have a 1 note from China, and I have about 10 of them in here. And great scene on the back, nice natural scene. Next up is good old Canada, a couple $2 notes. This was the last $2 note of the series. Then now the lowest denomination is 5. But again, with Queen Elizabeth on there, she's on. Again, if you didn't know, she's the most popular person on the world's currency for Commonwealth countries. And the back, this is the natural series with I'm gonna say Robins. I don't know that. Again, I work. I don't have time to research everything. There's a 10's commemorative, fairly new with the holographs, the clear windows, and the polymer note. Really nice looking. Also with the color shifting green ink as well. I'll leave that there for a second. But again, with the polymer notes from Australia and the Canadian printing, these are different scenes. I don't know if they're showing wheat and forests and different slices or panes of different types of call it farming, mountains, what have you. Next up is the this has got more than one note in it, but I'll just pull out the 10 here. This is the normal new 10, and we'll go to 5 as well. Get that out of the way. But the newest 10, regular series, great hull foil. I didn't realize this, and there's a few videos from the Bank of Canada on forgery or counterfeits that, again, always encourage you to look at your money, and I'm going to do a video on counterfeit notes probably tomorrow. I got to pick up a few other notes. But one thing to look at is to make sure the foil, actually, the notes that I'm seeing, the foil is blank. But they're able to do the polymer notes, and they look pretty good, but you want to really check the holographics. Make sure that the figure in the foil matches the figure on the note. And I was a little surprised to find out that they're already and it looks like they're mostly 20s. It wouldn't surprise me for the 10s. The 5s are probably too much effort for not enough return. But Canadian Rail Lines, I'd love to take this. Yeah, boy, if I ever got, I'd love to take, a month and just be on the rails in Canada and up in Alaska. Just brief. Trip of a lifetime. Trip of a lifetime. Here's the 5. Love this because the newer series with the arm from the, I think if this is off the shuttle. No, it looks like the International Space Station. Excuse me, ISS. But I went to Kennedy Space Center and saw the markup arm that they practice with. Really fun trip, by the way. I think it was the last big trip I took, and it's been forever. But really nice looking note. Anything with technology, space, these are great notes to have. Like Russia, the 2000 on Russia shows the launch pad, and obviously we'll be showing you that when we get to the books, because that's actually in the book. So these actually are not. A little surprised. I haven't looked at this stuff, but I don't believe these are. I wouldn't call these uncirculated. They're nice notes, but they're older Canadian notes. Not the devil face, but that would be worth quite a bit more money. And then we have the 1968. I'm going to say centennial notes that have the snowflake with the dates. Everything else I believe is the same. Canadian one on that, but and I'm gonna think that's Parliament Building on the back. I could be wrong, but pretty nice architecture, significant enough to be put on a banknote. So I kind of like I believe this is the 73 series. Again, it's been a while. Was able to pick up, I believe it was either 8 or 10 of them. Really pretty decent price. Very nice looking note. Elizabeth, a little younger. Again, you can see the aging process in Elizabeth, the Queen Elizabeth, for over the years, because they do update her picture with generally, how she looks at the time. But a great logging scene with log raft. I think I put it out there. I'm in Washington State, and I grew up logging. My grandpa had 43 acres, and there's nothing like spending half your holidays setting chokers. But I think these might be uncirculated, a little better versions. I did try to turn in some Canadian notes, and hey, guess what? If you're in a different country, the banks are not obligated to exchange foreign currency. If they're going to exchange foreign currency, it has to be the latest series. They don't want to turn it into another country. They want to be able to turn around and give it to somebody going to that country. So keep that in mind, that even though these notes are not demonetized, I could go up to Canada and they would take this $1 bill. But I was in Arizona at the time. Might be able to skate if I was up towards the border of Washington, but I'm down towards Portland, so same picture of the on vote in Parliament, but it could be wrong. Personal favorite, and of course I picked up, I would say 4 or 5 of these at a shot. This is the older 5, paper 5. Has the holographic security strip. I got these in about 2005 or 6, so I don't think they were the last series of it, but I haven't really done any research. These ones have just been sitting in the box for 10 years, 10, 15 years. But, Canada, hockey, come on. Yeah, you knew it was going to show up at some point. Got more. Oh, I did buy more of the same $1 Canadian. Now we're into Central African states. Great note. I really should have this in the books. Some of these I actually do need to, because I'm looking at the next note. Some of them I need to get more. I need to expand my books, because as most collectors know, running out of room is really part of life for us. But great scene. Nice vibrant colors. Love pink on notes. Central African states. Can't remember all of the countries. I believe Cameroon, Chad, but not every country prints its own currency. And so Central African states got together, and I'm saying it's at least 6 countries, but they have, like the euro. The euro is not the first currency to combine different countries into one banknote. So this U is a country code, and I'd have to look that up to tell you definitively which country this is from. But so you can go to several countries, and this currency would be valid in those countries. Also, who doesn't love big equipment, machinery? Again, notes that show technology are pretty, again, their own area of collecting. This one, I was a little upset with the company I buy from, because I don't know if it was me, but they used to package their notes in the larger envelopes that I use, and they would get corner dinged. Especially, like sometimes I would buy, I would have 30 to 50 notes in there, and then as the mail that they use 8.5 by 11 envelope, and the note would turn and get corner dinged, and this one did, which really did not make me happy, because I think this was like $40, and again, investment for one piece of paper, and it got damaged. And even though it's still beautiful, that affects the value of the note, and I don't spend money to just throw it down the drain. Because, again, and this is irritating too, because such a beautiful note with the train, with technology. You have the trains, planes, satellites, the satellite dish. It's really, really nice looking note. And also, as I'll show through, let me just go to the next one here. The French African influence on their banknotes with the art is, I'm not going to say animated or cartoon, but it's definitely, I don't know if these are Thomas de la Rue notes, but with the French colonial influence mixing with the African culture, is it's unique to the area, as is definitely a style of art that is indicative of the French influence. And again, this has the country code of F. Great work, Sin. I'm going to assume these are oil rigs. You would be kind of, well, maybe you wouldn't be surprised how many banknotes end up with either showing oil rigs or other industrial technology. But I'm gonna, it looks like they're gathering cotton, and great vibrant colors in this. This one did not get corner dinged, so it's a nice little more. For me, again, I'm not out to get the most expensive notes, but I will put out. Usually I cap my orders at 100 US dollars. So in that, I like to get one note that's, say, $40, that's a little higher end, and then I like to end up with at least 20 to 30 notes per order, even if I get duplicates, to make the shipping worthwhile. So I believe this is Czech Republic. I'm a little fuzzy on what states are going on, so I could be wrong, but this note is fantastic in its design, and that in itself is worth having. Back to some China, the Chinese note with, this is one. I love that, again, back when they were showing the different cultures and highlighting that. And then this is one won or yuan. I am murdering that, I guarantee you. But it's again not an expensive note, and definitely something to put in that definitely nice. And I believe this is Colombia, 200. It's an older note. Their new series is just fantastic, and that is a different. There's two of them in there, so there's a 100 and a 200. But from Colombia, not too much. Boop. Try not to touch too many of these. Congo. Again, some of these notes are not spendy. I only get the francs. There's 10 centimes, which are similar looking notes that are cents. And so I always make sure there's an F. That's not a country code, but that's for francs for the Congo. And then pretty cool statue or idol on that side. But this is, again, another Congo. This is, I don't have the 10. There's one that, there's a 20 that's tan, that's more spendy. But, lions and cubs, you can't go wrong with that. And so it's 20 franc note from the Congo. And then the full main lion on the front. So, definitely worth keeping around. Oh, here's a note for you. Okay, so this is Ina. This is from the Cook Islands. And there is not a fable, but anyways, Ina represents a goddess who needs to get from one island to the other. And I know I'm murdering this story, but she ends up riding on the back of a shark. And she gets out in the middle of the ocean, and anyways, so this doesn't just a random shark, nude woman on it. She is I believe a goddess, and it is an ancient story from the Cook Islands. So there's a reason behind it. And people like to know, this is, I'm not going to say notoriety, but people always chuckle because there are some notes with nudes on them. Most notably the French 100 for the French Revolution. And then we have a great catamaran. I'm going to say not a kayak, but a canoe with a catamaran or with an outrigger. Awesome designs, and another, by the way, quite possibly a phallic. Yeah. Anyways, this one's a Cuban note. I don't have a lot of Cuban currency. I'll have to look into that and see how. It's really kind of more the standard design. I think I only picked it up because, and the back is really kind of bled out, but so at least I can say I have a note from Cuba. Next up is Denmark, the 50 and the 100. You'll probably be seeing these in the books. I'll probably put them back. I believe I can now make a full page of Denmark, and I think is the only reason I don't have them in on the 3-ring binders. But they're beautiful notes, bridges, the bridge and the 50. Anything with bridges, again, that's its own category on collecting banknotes. And finally, for CD is a couple more Dominican Republic, and they're nice. They're in the day and age when I can display them and do so, then I definitely have got them for a reason. So that's up through D, and we will continue on with hey, that next letter starts with E, so we'll see how far we can get to that. Thanks.